Coach Katie Meier, fresh off a win at Boston College, back 4:30 this morning. Coach Meier, how you doing?
I'm good, Julian. I'm good. I'm alive and here back home, so, but tired.
Comment from Ibis. How hyped are you for the FSU game, in-state rival, tied atop the ACC rematch from earlier in the season?
Well, of course that's going to be a big game, but we don't look ahead, and we've got Wake Forest next, and that's been the secret to the season. You know, afterwards, after you win a game, you look back and you go, oh my, you know, we just beat Boston College at Boston College, but we are certainly just focused on Wake Forest at this point.
Comment from Jay Island Canes. Coach K, amazing stuff this year. Before the start of the season, did you feel you could have this kind of success that you've had so far?
You know, I think last year we won significant games. We won games that changed our mentality in terms of our opinion of ourselves. We didn't really care what anyone else thought about us, but we really needed to know that we could go and beat Maryland at Maryland or beat Carolina at home and Florida State at home. We beat ranked teams last year. Beating Florida and Florida State in the same season is always nice when you're a Hurricane. Mm-hmm. We did that. But our overall ACC record wasn't impressive. So I think that was, we thought we should be significant in the ACC this year, but the success has been a little bit surprising for sure.
Comment from Front Row Crew. Congratulations on an amazing season so far. How have you managed to have continued success in all the tough ACC matchups? Love you. Go Canes.
I think it's that we're very narrow in our focus. We have not done anything except how are we going to defend Boston College and what schemes do we need to do on offense to advantage Miami, make sure the game turns in our favor. And so, afterwards you look at all their scores and you sort of like we all looked up and said, oh my gosh, we're tied for first last night. We did do that, but the secret has been, we go 4 minutes to the media timeouts, you know how that is, and we just really stay very, very focused and in the moment.
Comment from Ibis. Who's your favorite athlete outside of basketball?
Julian Gamble. Next question.
Comment from the U. Coach, do you think your girls' team will give the guys a run for their money?
No. No, I don't. What I love about our teams, we're so close. We practice and watch each other practice and go to as many games as we can. And you guys are special. You play so hard, and I think people don't realize how hard you practice. And I'm stunned by it too when I watch. You practice. You're so competitive in practice. It's unbelievable how hard you go at each other. And we would absolutely get wiped off the court. We would. I mean, your size, your physicality, your speed, you match us in every area. And plus, people forget how good you guys can shoot. So as much as I love my team, I have to give the nod to the men on that one.
Comment from NC Kane. Your record matches up with anyone's in the country. Is the team bought into the idea of winning a national championship this year?
You know what? We want to beat Wake Forest on Monday night at home. And that is honest to God how we've approached it. I don't think that we lack for confidence. I don't think we struggle in that area. I personally don't struggle in that area, if you know me. I believe we're supposed to win every game that's in front of us. And so if that continues, and then one day you wake up and that happened to you, that's great. But it will never be, we're never thinking that far ahead with this team. And we have some obvious weaknesses on our team. We have some areas that people try to exploit when they play us. But no one's been able to really just break our will and crush our spirit yet. And as long as we have that, I think we have a fighting chance in almost every game we play.
Comment from you all day. Which player has been the biggest surprise for you this year in your great season?
Not a surprise, but certainly the reason I think is Morgan Stroman. I'm not surprised by it. I think she had the pedigree coming in. She had a solid freshman year. She started a bunch of ACC games, and we put her up for the ACC all-freshman team, and she was a good freshman. But now she's just a great player. She's just a sophomore, and I think she transformed her game over the summer with really being a lot more versatile with the ball. And so when you try to slow down our ball handlers and you think about Shanice Johnson or Quanah Williams, well, last night I was watching the film on the plane, and Strode does it behind the back between the legs against Boston's center, and I'm like, I've never seen her do that in practice. So she's definitely expanded her game. She can bring it out a little bit more and face the basket. And so even though we don't have a ton of size inside, people are having a hard time with that matchup with Stroman.
Comment from David. What other coaches do you look up to?
Well, I love all the coaches here at Miami, and I think it's one thing that makes it really special. I just, walk the hall, and Coach Golden grabbed me, and Michael Barrow, and everyone's high-fiving, and it's just, and I'm just meeting Coach Golden, but it's just, when you're at the U as a head coach, it's a very, very small group of people that are just grinding and grinding and grinding and just really trying to get to the top and do everything you can for this university and for your kids. And I think that's one thing all the head coaches have in common. We're all about our players. And we Coach Golden's like, you sleeping on? I'm like, no, but you don't either. It's just, that's how it goes. You just keep working and working and try to do the best you can for your players. And I think we all have that common mentality.
Comment from One Love Canes. How has the staff changed their approach from last year to this year?
Well, I'm glad they brought up the staff, because I'll tell you, if you think I'm not sleeping, then, I'm at least 2 hours or 3 hours a night over them. They're busting their butts right now. And my staff is very special. I think that our scouting has really separated us in this ACC games. I mean, it's coming down to scouting in a lot of these close games, and we're making adjustments on the fly. We're defending people's baseline out of bounds plays or their sideline out of bounds plays in crucial moments with certain schemes. People think that Miami's really athletic and they play hard. We're pretty smart, and I got to give my assistant coaches a bunch of credit for that. So our mentality has been, what's changed is I used to have to keep the kids believing in themselves. As a staff, we had to just keep them positive. We had to let them know that we were there for them and that they could do this, and that even when they made a mistake, it's like, it's all right because we see this great future for you and whatever. And so I was all about their confidence. And now I'm all about expectations, and I just come right at them. And I don't have to build up their confidence anymore. I just go right at them. And I say, that wasn't good enough. And that doesn't break them because they have that confidence now. So our mentality is a lot different. At halftime last night, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. We were fake effort. We weren't playing as hard as we need to. And in other games, I would say, hey, you're only down 8 and you can do better. But I was like, no, I'm angry at you. Like, that wasn't good enough. We got to change. This is different. And then we had that 10-0 response.
Comment from Ashley H. What is the best part about playing in the ACC?
Just the challenges. I mean, if you really are competitive, if you really have that spirit where you really want to play against the best, and you really, sometimes you answer questions that you had in your mind, like, I wonder if we can out-rebound North Carolina at Carolina. I mean, you got to ask yourself that question when you're preparing for the game. And then you come out of the game and you did it. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Comment from All Day Kane. How special is Shanice Johnson? She almost had a triple-double last night.
I'm trying not to say too much about her, but you'd have to really come at me with some strong, hard facts to tell me that there's 3 or 4 more better players in the country than her. You'd really have to come at me. So I'll defend any argument. I think she's a top 5 player in the nation. I don't have any question about it after last night's performance, her performance against Maryland. And it's we do an efficiency thing, and I can tell you the minutes that so-and-so's on the court was Miami plus or minus on the scoreboard. So at the North Carolina game, Shanice was in foul trouble. But every minute she was on the court, we were beating North Carolina by 23 points when Shanice was on the court. That was 23 points we were beating North Carolina. And that's how important she is to our team. And that's a stat that you can't, whatever, rebound, assist, whatever it comes out to. All I know is when she's on the court, we're beating people.
Comment from One Love Canes. If you could change one thing about your team, what would it be?
Well, you know what? I love them so much. I don't want to change, but if we could enhance something, I think it's nice to have Shawnice Wilson sitting on the bench this year. We do need some size. Last night, Sylvia Bullock just played a heroic game against huge inside presence, a 6'6" and a 6'4", and then they brought 6'4" off the bench, and those kids were also hitting the three. I mean, it was an unbelievable defensive effort by Sylvia Bullock, but she could use some help, down there. And Selena Archer's coming along, and I think she showed some good stuff. Mariah Brown's a battler and a competitor, but she doesn't have that size that we're talking about. So that's one thing I think we're adding next year, just adding a little bit of height and size to the front line.
Comment from Front Row Crew. Which player is the comedian on the team?
They'll tell you that I think I'm the comedian. I don't know. They're all funny in their own ways. They're hysterical. They're really, really funny. I think Stroman's probably the silliest one. Like me, Chanel Williams is kind of this little sneaky little wit to her. And Bebe's a lot funnier than people know. Raquana Williams can absolutely just stop me in my tracks and make me just belly laugh like nobody's business.
Comment from Scott Z. Is it okay that I shoot basketballs with 2 hands underhand?
What? Could you repeat the question, please?
Is it okay that I shoot basketballs with two hands underhand? So he's shooting a great shot.
It's okay if you're Rick Barry. I don't know what else to tell you. What rec league are you in? I want to join. I'll win it. I'll take home the trophy.
Comment from Ibis. How do you feel about UM's community's response to the team this year?
It's been tremendous. I think the neatest thing is that I'm so everything's so personal to me. You know, that's just how I was raised. It's how I run my team, and so it means so much personally that my players have support. I think once you meet them, once you get in the locker room with them, which we once you get on the sidelines with them, once you see them practice, once you see them play, they kind of capture you. And I've known that secret, and I feel so rewarded in the fact that they've been successful enough that there's a lot of other people that are in on the secret now, and that they have a fuel to them when they come and watch us play. The crowd they know they have a role, they know they have a purpose, they know that they can give us that energy, and so that's been great.
Comment from Bob. What do you feel your biggest challenge will be as a team for the rest of the season?
You know, I think we were a little bit flat to start that Boston College game, and it's really, really hard with the minutes that our starters are playing to demand that intense effort for 40 minutes, and I think that's the biggest challenge. And I'm really proud of our bench because they're getting in earlier than normal. I mean, we're putting them in, right around that 12-minute media. We're already had 3 or 4 subs last night, and that's a plan. We have to do that to stay fresh. But the style that we play, the intensity, not just the physical intensity, but the mental intensity of the requirements of what to get, 90 to 100 possessions a game and play defense, and I don't forgive you if you're lazy. So that requirement is tough to play 35 minutes a game. And so that's where, motivation is going to be real big, and our bench has to really come through for us.
Comment from New England Kane. What did you say to Raquana last night at halftime because she was unreal in the second half?
Yeah. I just asked her, I said, what do I need to do to get you off? You got to go off for us. You have to go off. Like, we have to have you. And she just kind of looked at me, and I said, what sets do you want me to call for you? And she said, I think I need to just play defense. And I said, that's a good idea. And then I know Carolyn Keeger and her have a very tight relationship, and I saw them getting after each other a little bit too. So I think that Raquana just needs to know when we need her, that, I got to just make sure she's aware, and she figured it out.
One last question for Coach Katie Meier. What recruit are you most excited about next year?
Oh, of the signees?
Yes.
Okay, because I can't. I think it was a great class. I think, I've referred to her before, but I think Pepper, Shawnice Wilson, is kind of a recruit, but she's on our bench. She had to sit out for a year. And Saray McGuire, who's also on our bench and will be eligible next year. Those two players were USA Basketball, the Nike All-American. They're solid, and they're just sitting there, and they're practicing with us right now. We also signed, I think, a great player in Michelle Woods and Jessica Capers and Tyler Hobgood from North Carolina. But to have two that are practicing with you already that are going to add next year, I think we're most excited about that. Thank you all so much, fans. You've made a big difference with our team this year, and I need to see you Monday night and Thursday night.